Chapter 54. Tori sat at the computer, but she didn't play World of Warcraft as she usually did. Now she was searching for something. After her discussion with Adam, she decided to track down Amelia's husband, if he truly was alive. But first, she needed to figure out what his name was, or at least where he lived. She got a little clever by remembering what Amelia had told her about Walmart. She remembered the woman telling her that she always grabbed a baseball bat from the sports section to scare off the people she thought were following her. She hoped that maybe there was an incident that made it to the news. And there it was. There was a tiny story in the local paper about a woman who beat up a man in a Walmart down the street from Adams Mall. It mentioned her husband, Herbert Mancini, bailing her out of jail. Tori then looked up Mr. Mancini and found his address. It was pretty close, in Haltom City. She wrote it down and looked at her watch. 5 p.m. "Hey," Kendall said after walking through the front door. "Where the hell is Adam?" "Beats me." "We haven't gone to the Angelica in a while." He eyed her up and down. "I don't suppose you'd want to go with me." "After that last movie you dragged me to? No thanks." "What was that again?" Tori thought about it for a moment. "That original Japanese version of The Grudge." "Oh, yeah, Ju-on. You didn't like it?" "Hell no, it was too scary." "I thought you were braver than that," Kendall said as he went upstairs to his room. Tori found the house easily enough. She decided to go as soon as possible before she lost her nerve. The house was a 2-story brick monstrosity. She parked in front of it and went to the front door. There was a wooden bench directly to her left, taking up most of the tiny front porch. She rang the doorbell. After a minute, a bald man answered. "Yes?" he said warily. "Mr. Mancini? My name is Tori. I'm a friend of your wife." "My wife?" He opened the door further. "Where is she?" "She's at the North Chase Mall. She's been living there for a while." Mr. Mancini stood there, digesting what she'd just told him, Tori guessed. "Okay, thank you." He started to close the door, but Tori put her hand on it. "That's it? Are you going to go get her?" "No," he said, as if that were obvious. "Why should I?" "Because she's your wife. She thinks you're dead." "She thinks a lot of things," he said heatedly. "She's not well. It's up to her whether or not she comes back. She just left one night after we had a fight, wouldn't even listen to me, barely even let me speak." "So you just let her disappear?" Tori asked, disgusted. "She said she wanted a divorce. I assumed she didn't want me anymore. She said awful things to me that night. I just figured she needed time. I didn't know she was living in a mall." "Do you still love her?" Mr. Mancini slowly nodded his head. "I love her, and I want to help her, but she has to come back on her own. If there's one thing about Amelia, it's that you can't make her do what she doesn't want to do." He closed the door without another word. Adam stood on the back porch, staring at the canopied parking spots that lined the back of his side of the townhouses. It was March, and the weather was much warmer, the snow completely melted now. He hadn't been back to Tabrets in over a week, and wasn't sure if he ever wanted to go back. It truly frightened him that, for 20 years, he'd forgotten that his father had committed suicide. Had the suicide been traumatic for him? Or did he have some sort of mental illness like Amelia? "Hey there," Tori said beside him. "Hey, girlie. What are you up to?" "Nothing much. While you were gone, I tracked down Amelia's husband, seeing if he'll take her back." Adam looked at her. "Seriously? Nice job." "Hardly. He said he didn't leave her. She left him. So it's up to her if she wants to come back." "I'll talk to her," he said dreamily. He could see cars passing by on the street far away, on the other side of the townhouses. A plane flew far overhead. "You okay?" Tori asked. "My dad killed himself," Adam blurted out. He hadn't told her what he'd found out. I remembered last week. I'd been repressing it for a long time, and then it just came back to me one day. It was awful. My subconscious tried to warn me, said I was ignoring it. I asked it to tell me what happened to my dad, but it refused. I guess it wanted me to unlock it on my own. That didn't make it any less painful, though. "I'm sorry, Adam." "Thanks." He sighed and stood up. "I need to take a nap before work."